Central bank digital currencies are right around the corner, and they will erode your freedom so fast you won't even know what hit you. If you're not familiar with a central bank digital currency or a CBDC, we will talk about them. There are many in pilot stages right now, but they could go into effect as early as this year. CBDCs will give the government complete totalitarian control over every penny. All of your money will be forced to be put into a retail central bank digital currency. They will at some point phase out cash, and they will be able to control everything that you buy. They can turn on and off payments in certain areas. Do you remember last year when Trudeau froze the bank accounts of those involved in the Freedom Convoy? It'll be like that, but on steroids. You will not be able to buy things certain times of the day, certain time of the year. They can turn off purchasing for certain categories altogether. They can take out more money in taxes. They could take all the money out of your account. They can add money to your account. They can do literally anything they want because they would have complete control. This is terrifying. Thank you so much for watching my video. I do sincerely appreciate it. This is one of the most pressing, underreported issues of our time. Central bank digital currencies are so scary. I mean, it would be insane to not be able to buy what you want when you want to, right? I mean, currently we can purchase or sell, goods and services as we like. We have a lot of freedom. We can use cash. It's, very hard to track and trace. But if a CBDC is in place in a retail setting, then the government will not only know everything that you're doing, but be able to control everything that you're doing. All right, so let's dive into this article here. The headline is CBDC projects pick up the pace as 2023 kicks off. Progress on central bank digital currencies has been relatively slow, but a flurry of tests near the end of the year suggests CBDC initiatives are improving their pace as central banks try to determine the impact on traditional banking and payment systems. About a dozen CBDCs have launched, according to a tracker from the Atlantic Council, which adds 17 are in pilot and 72 are in research and development. 80% of central banks are considering a CBDC or have already launched one, according to PwC. There's a mix of motivating factors such as improving cross-border payments, mitigating financial crimes, and improving financial inclusion. Wow, reports PwC. Mounting risks from other forms of digital currency such as volatility and cryptocurrency are also pushing projects. They don't say it explicitly in here, but one of the biggest motivating factors is the government wants more control. They want to be able to control you. That's what these are all about. They're kind of saying, this is going to help us prevent financial crimes. It's going to, improve financial inclusion. This is going to help us with the volatility of cryptos. It's not really meant for that. This is meant for them to be able to control you, right? If they can control your money, they can control everything.
I'm only burning my half. All you care about is money. This town deserves a better class of criminals.
A well-designed CBDC can help provide a real-time view of risks and currency outflows to help implement specific and targeted measures to prevent financial contagions from spreading further in the event of a crisis. This is absolutely ridiculous. Let's say we had an inflation problem, right? And everyone had their money in a central bank digital currency. Well, they could say, hey, there's too much money in existence and this is causing inflation. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pull out an additional $100 from everyone's account every week, or $1,000. And if you don't have the money in there, it's just going to go in the negative, right? Because we need to remove money from the system to help with inflation. Sorry, there's too many programs in place that we need the funding for. And so we're going to have to take the money out of your pocket on top of the taxes you're already paying. They could totally do that. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. So here are some CBDC projects that were underway near the start of 2023, with results expected to inform a path forward in these locations in the year ahead. Okay, so the first one is the United States of America. Now, most people who are watching this video probably live in the USA based on my YouTube analytics. So we're going to go over this one, and then I will mention the other countries that are working on a CBDC. We're not going to go over all of them. And then I'll talk about how you could possibly get around a CBDC and still have some privacy with some of your transactions. So anyway, here we are, United States. Even as debate in the U.S. rages over the utility of a digital dollar, work continues on the nuts and bolts of a potential American CBDC. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York's Innovation Center and the Monetary Authority of Singapore, wow, that's crazy that they're working together, are working on an experiment that will determine how wholesale central bank digital currencies can improve cross-border payments. Wholesale CBDCs are designed for large parties to move substantial amounts of money and are considered likely to be implemented faster than retail CBDCs, which are designed for consumer use. So basically, this wholesale CBDC is kind of like the gateway drug, right? Once they figure out how to easily move the money between us and Singapore, well, then they're going to be like, okay, now let's move the money between us and the retail public. Right? I mean, this is just step one of their, master plan to control everyone's finances. Because think about it, you will literally be banking with the Fed, right? I mean, you will have a bank account with a central bank. Now, it may still be called US Bank or Chase or Wells Fargo, but the account will be directly with the Fed. So they will know every penny that you make and every penny that you spend. They will know where all of your money is going. So not only is privacy completely out the window, but also they will have complete control over your money, which is what is so scary. In a second project, the New York Fed is participating in a proof of concept test that will determine the feasibility of digital currencies operating in a network of financial institutions. Then it talks about some of the banks that are involved, along with MasterCard and SWIFT. The New York Fed's projects are experimental, and it has not taken a position on whether the U.S. needs a CBDC, but I can basically guarantee you that they're going to say, yes, we do need a CBDC here. They are going to move forward with this. I mean, why would they not? All they want is more control, right? And this is how they're going to get it. By the way, in this article that we're reading, the website is AmericanBanker.com. I'm not really familiar with this website, but check out this ad for Swift. There's literally a Swift ad in the middle of this article. I don't know if they put that there on purpose or if they're just trying to advertise in like a financial type article and it just happened to pop up here. But kind of crazy that they're literally advertising in an article talking about CBDCs, and they're involved with testing one right now. But okay, some of the other countries that have them. Singapore, obviously, we just talked about the U.S. and Singapore working together. We have Spain, all right, a coalition of more than 24 banks is assessing the impact of a digital euro. So Spain, I'm sure they will have one very soon. The UK, right, Bank of England, there you go. They're going to have one as well. These are a lot of large countries, right? France is involved. Canada, they're going to be doing their own CBDC, although Trudeau already has a lot of emergency powers, right? But this will give them way more power, so I'm sure they will move forward with their own. All the big countries are going to do it. Japan is working on their own. We have Australia, right? No one's going to be able to hide from this. As soon as one country goes all in, all the rest of them are going to go all in. They're going to be so jealous, It's ridiculous. Brazil, there you go. South America. New Zealand, they're going to have one. And then the last one they list here is China. So yeah, I mean, this is all just craziness. CBDCs are definitely going to pick up the pace, right? As they say here in the headline, in 2023. I feel like they're going to start to be implemented this year, and it's just going to get worse and worse for us. I mean, once they outlaw cash, we know the end is near, because as long as we still have cash, we can still make some purchases without the government knowing exactly what we're buying. They could turn off payments for you being able to purchase gold and silver in the future if they don't want you to have an alternative currency, right? And that's kind of the one way I see as getting around a CBDC in the future. If you want to buy and sell things with complete privacy, you could look at cryptocurrencies, but those are so volatile right now. And also, once they implement their own retail CBDC, they're going to really crack down on cryptos. They're going to turn off, the on and off ramps to these different websites, right, that allow you to access your cryptos, and they're going to make it really difficult for anyone to use a cryptocurrency. And so I feel like kind of gold and silver are really the only way where you could have money outside of this system where you could still have freedom to use it as a form of currency. And, I've actually used gold and silver to purchase things locally. There are a lot of people that are right now willing to accept gold and silver as payment, and I feel like that would get more prevalent, especially if these CBDCs are launched. And so yeah, I just think this is crazy times ahead. Absolutely crazy. This is one of the most insane things that's happening in our lifetimes, right? Going from a fiat currency where you have cash to potentially a currency that is all digital. It just sounds crazy. It sounds like something from a movie that came out in the 80s or something like that, They're like, oh, a digital currency, How stupid would that be? The government would have control over everything. And now it seems like it's just right around the corner. So anyway, I am curious what your thoughts are on a CBDC. Feel free to put those down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Silver Dragons out.